Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome everybody, welcome everyone to Real Madrid Hub. I'm your host, Dr. JOTA, and today, as you probably can imagine, the most important thing that we have ahead is the game against Mallorca, a very important game of La Liga to keep growing the distance with the rest of the contenders, which is of course not very easy, because after the victory of Atletico de Madrid, they are ahead of us, but we are with one game less than them. So if we win, we will be again in the top of the standings. But of course, we can fail, and this game, it is super important because it's the second game I think that we are playing at home in the Bernabeu Stadium, so there shouldn't be any problem for us to win today. But of course, Mallorca is the kind of team that you always come across and you don't really know what is going to happen, because Mallorca right now is in the 9th position in the standings, and you never know. They have won 2 games, they have drawn 2 games, and they have lost 1 game. And with Take Kubo and all the, these players that can get you in a lot of problems, in a lot of troubles over the course of the game, you really don't know what can happen. But theoretically, we should win the game today, and we shouldn't have big deals, big problems to win against Mallorca. Of course, the most important we have to highlight from the game today, it is pretty much the possibility to see so many rotations in the starting 11 of Carlo Ancelotti. And the reason for that is because, number one, he confirmed last night in the press conference that there were going to be some changes in the starting 11, and the second thing is because there are a bunch of players in the lineup that are already a little bit tired, and they are delivering symptoms of being, tired, exhausted, and that is not a good sign if you keep in mind that we have just begun the season, right? We are in a very early moment in the season. We are in September, so we have the whole season ahead. And the problem with these players like Luka Modric, Casemiro, Fede Valverde, or even Karim Benzema, they are not only playing for Real Madrid, but also every time the national team plays, they are there. So although the international break and the stop of the clubs and all the stuff, the football clubs, the problem is all these players are still playing over and over again with no rest at all. And then when they come back to the club, when they come back to Real Madrid, they are tired, they are injured, they struggles, they have a lot of struggles, they have a lot of problems to keep playing and all this stuff. So that is the thing, every time they have to go out and play for their national teams. And that is the reason, what is the other reason why Carlo Ancelotti is considering to make a couple adjustments in the starting 11 for this game against Mallorca. So the possibilities, for example, to see Camavinga today making his debut in the starting 11 of Real Madrid are very high right now. I would say Camavinga will be there to replace either Luka Modric or maybe Fede Valverde, one of the two. I don't know which one, because Fede Valverde apparently is not 100% right now, and of course Luka Modric either. Luka Modric is a player, 36 years old, and in the last 2 games he was replaced by Eduardo Camavinga in the minutes 66 and 70, and of course the whole game changed completely just because we recover back the midfield for Real Madrid, and that is so important every time we have to connect with the attackers, with the forwards, especially with Vinicius Jr. and Karim Benzema. So in order for us to do that, we need a player like Camavinga, a super young player, in a great, amazing physical condition, super long legs, who can, give a couple steps and, cross through the field. So to me, it is the player who has to be today in the midfield of Real Madrid. If you want to put it this way, you can say it is the best chance, it is the best option that we have for the midfield today for Real Madrid. I don't know though what is Carlo Ancelotti thinking right now, but to me, if I were Carlo Ancelotti, definitely I would put to Eduardo Camavinga in the lineup of Real Madrid today. So other than that, we might see, for example, another player like Rodrigo Goes replacing to Eden Hazard. And the reason for that is because Carlo Ancelotti in the press conference said Hazard is in a very good level, but not good enough to play every 2 days back to back with different games, going on. Belgium, Real Madrid, Belgium back to back, no rest in between. That is not good for Hazard because he is living behind the super bad injury he had over the last 2 years, and of course it is not the right time and the right moment for Hazard to play every single game. So that's why what I'm thinking is Rodrigo Goes might be featured in the starting 11 of Real Madrid. But of course, again, this is up to Carlo Ancelotti, not up to me. And maybe another change, another new face we might see in the starting 11 of Real Madrid, that'd be Miguel Gutierrez. As you know, last week it was Nacho Fernandez who was occupying the left side, the left back of Real Madrid. But considering Mallorca is not, with all my respects, I don't want to be disrespectful here, but considering Mallorca is not Inter de Milan or even Valencia, to me this is the right game for Miguel Gutierrez to play since the beginning, because he's doing a great job. His projection is just absolutely nuts, and to me he will become one of the most important left backs of Real Madrid in the last 15 years. So if you think about that, considering we have two Ferland Mendy out of the squad, injured, and we can not count on Marcelo Vieira, to me Miguel Gutierrez is definitely the best option Carlo Ancelotti has for the left side, for the left back of Real Madrid. So other than that, that is what I'm thinking about the possible lineup of Real Madrid for Mallorca. Now, the next one, it's about Kylian Mbappe, Fabrizio Romano, in the last interview that the Italian journalist gave last night to, it is called the Bronx, let me double check the name, it's the Bronx Cheer Football Show. He gave an interview and he said something really, really interesting, something that I know you will love, guys, because he said, quotation mark here, to me the next game of Kylian Mbappe, but not only for me but for everybody else, it's going to be Real Madrid. But it's not only my feeling, it's not only my sensation, it's what I've been told, because apparently all his sources are pointing in the same direction, that Kylian Mbappe will become a new Real Madrid player next summer. So when Fabrizio Romano claims something like that, and it is not the first time, because when he was uploading videos last month of August, when Kylian Mbappe was very close to sign for Real Madrid, and the deal was pretty close but finally failed just because of Al Khelaïfi and all the stuff, he was saying pretty much the same, that all his sources were pointing in the same direction, that Kylian Mbappe was going to sign for Real Madrid. What they didn't know though, it finally was going to be last summer in August, or maybe next summer 2022. And now that we know that Kylian Mbappe didn't finally sign for Real Madrid this summer, we do know that Kylian Mbappe will become a Real Madrid player as of next summer 2022, which is of course very good news for Real Madrid. He added as well that some of the teammates of the French player already know that he will end in Real Madrid, playing for Real Madrid next summer, which is of course another very important and exciting news for us. As you probably can imagine, for Kylian Mbappe there's no other way to go. Kylian Mbappe is such a professional guy that he decided to wait one more year and not to start any kind of war against PSG, just because he thinks, okay, it's gonna be just about one more season and then I will be there playing for Real Madrid. That is exactly what I want to happen. So to me, he was smart enough to say, hey, okay, let's wait, let's put everything on hold, because next year I will be there, so no worries. Let's keep calm, everybody cool down, because no drama, no beef. I don't want any drama, any beef, because I think that Kylian Mbappe has that super professional mentality, so he is able to think ahead of everybody in the long term. You know what I'm saying? In the long run, he sees that the best option for him in this summer was to wait one more year and say, hey, okay, no worries, I'll be there next year. And to me, that is the most smartest thing that a player, a soccer player, can do. Because if you are facing off a person like Al Khelaifi, it is going to be almost impossible to convince him otherwise and say, hey, why you don't release me? Why you don't want to negotiate with Real Madrid? Why you guys don't want me to get out of here when my really desire is to go out and play for Real Madrid? It is much better to keep the things down, calm down, and that's it. And next year we will see you as the new Real Madrid player. So to me, all these things Fabrizio Romano has said since the last summer are very true, and there's no doubt in my mind, to me, when it comes to Kylian Mbappe becoming another Real Madrid player. So I encourage you guys to think the same way. And yeah, to me, Mbappe and Real Madrid will have a deal by the next year, by the next summer. 99% sure 2022 is going to be our year for both of us, for Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid. And of course, not only for him, but for Erling Haaland as well. So very good news from Fabrizio Romano. And the last news I have for you all, guys, is about this stadium. The new Bernabeu stadium is going to get for Real Madrid about 500 million euros a year. It is an insane investment Real Madrid has made over the last years. Real Madrid will put up front to get such amount of money, about 750 million euros, which is something that we are going to pay off in the next 5 years. So it is still a very important investment for Real Madrid and for the future. Because if you think about it, teams like Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester City, they don't even have to improve significantly any other income source, because they can get the money right quick just asking for their states, for their governors in the Middle East, and say, hey, we need more money, just put more money on the table, that's it. But Real Madrid is a completely different story. We have to scratch the surface, scratch the brain a little bit more, and dig in and deeply to find different income sources, because the rights for the television rights are not enough to cover the whole budget of Real Madrid. So the only way for us in this case, it was to improve significantly in the other aspects you are receiving money from. And these other aspects are, number one, you can raise a little bit more the membership of the partners, of the people who pay the membership to be there in the stadium, or you can improve the stadium and then increase the business and the the museum of Real Madrid, so you can get more and more money. So what Florentino Perez did, it was right after the Dallas Cowboys hit in the United States in Houston, they amplified and they expanded their stadium, and he saw how great it was, the new income source, because apparently they double. They went from this level, of earnings to this one, like 50 to 60% more income earnings every single year. So Florentino Perez learned that and say, okay, I'm going to do the same in Real Madrid. So that's why he started to plan the remodelation, the complete remodelation of the new Santiago Bernabeu. That is because we can have more businesses around. We can amplify some of the areas we are receiving money for. For example, all these VIP seats for VIP people that want to see the game or whatever. We can make more money with that. Or even with the museum, man, we are making a lot of money out of the museum. But if you can expand the museum a little bit more, you can receive even more people every single day, every single year. So at the end of the year, it's going to be much more. So the estimation is about, if Real Madrid is making for now, or at some point around 175 million euros, the estimation earnings are going to be an additional 150 million euros. So the gross earning that is expected to happen to Real Madrid as of the next year, when the new Bernabeu, the new stadium is is over, it's gonna be about 500 million euros, which is insane. It is of course a very good investment, just not for now but for the future, because that is going to allow us to sign some of the best players in the world and pay some of the highest salaries in the soccer world, which is of course a very good thing, because if you want to put together players like Erling Haaland or even Kylian Mbappe, it is important for you to get a bunch of money every single year. So those are the 3 news I wanted to share with you all, guys. Now let me know your comments, your thoughts in the section below, and of course subscribe